If you haven't already noticed, my guest and I, Deanna, we are sitting on way better chairs than you are. These terrific comfortable chairs are courtesy of Wilson Office Supply, and they're from their Better Backs by Design line of ergonomically correct office furniture. If you're nice, I'll let you try one out after the show. But if you're not, you got to go downtown to 8th and Lamar and go try one out in their showroom. They got a couple dozen chairs down there that are quality pieces of furniture. You got to spend a third of your life at your desk. You might as well be comfortable. So Deanna, you came to Wichita Falls for what reason?
Sam took a tenured position at MSU.
And what year was that?
92.
And you came to work for the paper immediately?
December of 92. Yeah. I started off as a general assignments reporter, and then the copy desk, and then the editorial page editor. They asked me to write a sports column once a week because they wanted to get more women readers to the sports section.
Did you write the same column? Georgia beat Texas.
No.
Copy! How'd that experiment pay off?
I had more people, I had more men write in, you know. They never
did. Did they tell you to stay in the kitchen?
No,
that kind of
they never did. Yeah, which was good. I mean,
Did Nick Golson tell you to go back to the kitchen?
No. In fact, he said that I don't write as well as he does about sports, but I come pretty close. So.
Well, when I first started the paper, I was unfamiliar with the culture, and so I didn't know what was normal, what was not. But it didn't seem normal that there was this corner of the newsroom where I swear to you, it was still 1957. Mm-hmm. If I actually went back there one time and asked them, what year is it here specifically? And they told me to get out of the sports department. Carol Wilson. I'd never worked at a paper before, and so Carol Wilson was my first ever editor. And I want you, I'd never even written like a news brief, like the little digest brief. I'd never written one of those. And the first time I tried to write one, it took like 45 minutes.
And he's standing there going,
oh, he was swearing at me from his doorway. And I thought, awesome. That's what I thought a newsroom should be like. Yeah, I was cussed at. One time I threw in like an abbreviation for a job title. And he walked in, he goes, Lady Weaver! Do you know what an LBG-31May is? And I just typed it. No. Nobody else does either! But during the time that I was there, and Carol was there the rest of the time I was there, I kind of saw that taper off. I kind of thought that was a missing element by the time I left the paper. Have you reinstated swearing in the newsroom?
No, in fact, I said screwed today, and everyone went,
Wow.
I think I shouldn't have cussed.
I've been gone a long time.
I remember this huge tornado cell was coming our way, and I was managing editor. I was standing there looking at the radar, and I'm thinking, where do I need to send everybody? Do I need to come in the back end? Do I need to go north? Who has the least amount of damage on their car? I'm standing there staring at the TV and I'm the radar, and Carol comes running out of his office and he starts screaming at me and says, "You're not upset enough. There's a tornado coming." And I said, "It's okay. If I felt like if I yelled, everybody else would feel that." Mm-hmm. One of the big criticisms that people have of me is that I'm probably not as demonstrative as I should be. And then I think, but that's Carol's way. I can never be Carol. Mm-hmm. So why should I start saying the F word and GD and all this stuff when it's not me anyway? It'd be like if I suddenly started wearing, chunk jewelry and, heels like this. You go, what is she thinking? I'm the only woman editor in Scripps.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole...
What?
Are you serious? Really?
I am, yeah.
How many papers did you have?
We have 15. So
you said it right as you said it.
I know. Only woman. Yeah. So just in case I got the big head. Yeah.
We have a button. Do you have a day in the business, and I think I know what it is, like the biggest day that you ever worked?
It was 9/11.
Yeah.
I was in the bathroom of United, and someone called and said, "Did you see what happened?" And that was when the first plane had hit, and I ran out. I don't even think I zipped my pants. I'm standing there, and the second plane hit while I was standing there. And when the Pentagon was hit, it was like they were at war.
Yeah.
And then I was standing there in the coffee shop thinking, I need to be at work. And I got to Scott Street when somebody called me and said, the first building. The second one that had been hit, the building had just fallen.
It was collapsing.
And we started working immediately, and then we did an extra.
Yeah.
By 5 o'clock, maybe even before that, our goal was to be on the street before people got off work.
Yeah.
And my corner was Caulfield and Midwestern Parkway, and right in front of the mall. And I can remember the looks on people's faces as if I was the first person that told them that. But I remember, I was covered in ink, a newsprint, when I got home, completely exhausted, and had missed all of kind of the reporting TV-wise. It was very much a TV thing.
Yeah, we were in a kind of a vacuum.
We were in a vacuum because we were so busy trying to get that out. And it was one of those things where you had circulation people and editorial writers and everything, all of us on the street selling that.
I want to jump in. This is how different. At that point, I was nothing resembling a news guy. I'd been in the paper about a year and a half, and we were having coffee, but I was supposed to have that day off. And I kind of went by the newsroom, and then even I was like, oh, yeah, I don't think I have the day off anymore. So well, shit. So we go into this emergency, this editorial meeting to put together the extra between the collapse of the first and the second towers, because it collapsed while we were in the meeting.
Exactly. Yeah.
And everyone was given assignments to localize, the event. And because I was a business reporter, I was supposed to call the various banks and other institutions that would be affected by Wall Street shutting down. And going into the meeting, I pulled Deanna aside and I said, I have an idea for a column, a personal story about this. And I said, I was way over my depth.
Way before columns.
And you were like, well, okay, so let's run it by Carol. So we doled out all these stories. We have 90 minutes from the second we walked out of that meeting. It was 10:30 or thereabout. Noon was when they wanted to
have it on the press. So
I go to Carol, who still made me nervous at the time. And
very intimidating, yeah.
And Dan, I think, might have sort of introduced, Lee has an idea for a column. He goes, I don't have time for Lee Weary fucking around today. Like I was going to tell jokes. You know what this reminds me of? That thing that's never happened anytime to anybody anywhere. That's what it reminds me of. And he said, you have 10 minutes or some incredibly small amount of time. And he came over, and we had these little pods of desks pushed together with partitions between the desks about this high. So even Carol could see over this. Hey-o! But he stood looking over this wall at my face while I was trying to type this intensely personal story.
On deadline.
And then I was like, Carol, you have to leave. If you want me to actually finish, you've got to go, please.
Yeah.
He was fine. So I finished it, and I sent it on into the system, and the next electronic stop was her desk. And I called her. I was like, if it isn't pitch perfect, kill it. We'll just move on till the next disaster.
And I killed it.
You did not kill it. And that's actually, it was the only personal, Carol wrote the editorial for the paper, but it was the only personal story in the extra edition. And it's one of the highlights of my career.
Well, it's saved. It's saved forever.
I haul that clip out from time to time, and I think, you know what? For 10 minutes,
you were a journalist.
This was, that's not where I was going with that. But thank you for having only 10 minutes to write it.
Yes.
For 10 minutes you were a journalist. The rest of the time, who knows what you were doing.
You wanted the day off. The world was coming to an end. I think I can make it to Duncan.
I really did. So I ended up selling papers that afternoon.
What was your corner?
I was at 8th and Scott, across from Big Blue.
You didn't have to go very far, yeah.
And I think I was one of the last people out of the building. I almost didn't get a route. I was really going to feel left out because it was in big demand. Everybody wanted.
We all wanted to be part of it.
Everyone wanted to be part of the experience, and I got one of the last ones. And I had the pleasure, while delivering papers, of hearing my first right-wing conspiracy theory blaming it on Clinton. Swear to God. Not... What, 6 hours after the event, there's some guy I don't even know in my ear.
I bet he writes letters to me.
Oh man.
But I sold so many, I ran out of space to shove the $5 bills in the apron. Some hardwood store had given us aprons, and I was shoving them, and I may have dropped, because people, the looks on their faces were, really? What happened?
That's crazy.